Hey, Mrs. Hassler here. Just want to give you a quick video on how to adjust your window so you can see your entire parabola on your graph, how to find the x-intercepts or zeros on your graph, and how to find the vertex on your graph. So the first thing we want to do is go to y equals. We're going to type in our function from number 7 in our notes, 2x squared minus 36x plus 130. And when I hit graph, you'll notice that I only see part of my parabola. Okay, now I know that it opens up. It looks like I'm missing the right side of my parabola and the lower part of my parabola. And so I need to adjust the right side and the bottom side of my viewing screen. So we're going to hit the window button. Now X-min adjusts the left side. X-max adjusts the right side. The scale determines how many tick marks are on the x-axis. Y-min adjusts the bottom. Y-max adjusts the top. And Y-scale adjusts how many tick marks are on the y-axis. So again, if I look at my graph, it looks like I'm missing part of my graph on the right side, and I can't see my vertex, which would be at the bottom. So for my window, I'm going to keep the x-min the same, and I need to adjust the right side, or the x-max. So I'm just going to guess 20. Sometimes you have to play around with it a little bit. And I guess I'll keep my x-scale at 1. And then I need to change the bottom so that I can see my vertex. And in class we said the y-min would be negative 50. I don't need to change the y-max. I didn't need to change the top part, and I'll keep my scale at 1. So now when I hit graph, I can see my entire parabola. Notice that there are a ton of tick marks on my y-axis. So if I go back to window and go to y-scale, since it's the y-axis, I could change the y-scale to 5, so it's going by 5s, each tick mark. Or I could change it to 10, so I'm going by 10s. I'm going to change it by 5s. That means that my tick marks will go by increments of 5. And that way, my y-axis looks a little less busy. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and find the x-intercepts or the zeros of the function. Now this function is clear to see that my x-intercepts are going to cross at 5 and at 13. But you won't always have pretty x-intercepts, so let's talk about how to verify these x-intercepts. We're going to hit second trace. It says calc above it in blue because we're going to calculate the x-intercepts or the zeros, which is another name for x-intercepts. I'm going to choose option 2 for zeros. And notice that it lands, around, or in this case on, my left 0. And then at the bottom it says Leftbound. That means I need to pick an x value smaller than my predicted x-intercept. I predict the x-intercept to be 5, so I'm going to type in 4, and then hit enter. Notice on my screen I get this line that's to the left of that x-intercept. Again, I predict my x-intercept to be 5, so right down means pick an x value bigger than 5. I'll pick 6, and then enter. And then I get this other line that is to the right of my x-intercept. It says guess at the bottom. I don't feel like guessing, so I'll just hit enter again. And there we go. At the bottom it says 5, 0. So x equals 5 is one of my x-intercepts. And then I actually need to do this a second time so that I can get my other x-intercept. So again, I hit second trace, or for calculate. I'm going to calculate my 0 of my function or my x-intercept, so option 2. And this time I want my other x-intercept, which is occurring at x equals 13, I estimate. So Leftbound, I need a number smaller than 13. I'll go with 10, enter. Notice I have that line to the left of my second x-intercept. Rightbound, I need a number bigger than my prediction of 13, so I help 20, enter. Notice I get a line to the right of my x-intercept, and then I'm going to hit enter again, and there it is, a 0, or an x-intercept of 13, 0. Lastly, I want to find the vertex, and it is hard to estimate what exactly the point is for this vertex. I do know that this vertex is a minimum, it's the lowest point. So again, I'm going to hit second trace to calculate. Everything is hidden under the second trace. And because my vertex is a minimum, I'm going to choose option 3. Again, with this left bound and right bound, left bound means that I need to pick an x value to the left of my vertex. And I think the smartest thing to do is to pick your x-intercept that's on the left side. That is left of your vertex. So I'm going to type in 5. I know that that is to the left of my vertex and hit enter. And then I need to pick a point to the right of my vertex. And I know that my other x-intercept is to the right of that vertex. And that x-intercept was 13. So I'll type 13 in and hit enter. Don't feel like guessing. So when I hit enter again, I get 8.9999979. That rounds to 9. Negative 32. So my ordered pair would be 9, negative 32 for my vertex. So again, in order to find your x-intercepts or your vertex, we hit second trace. An x-intercept is option 2. When your vertex is a minimum, or your parabola opens up, you choose option 3. If your vertex is a maximum, or your parabola opens down, you hit option 4.